Hi, this is Amigurumi. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute wizarding chick. It might look very familiar to you. So here's its feature. You can see it has a lightning scar up here. Also has these tiny little round spectacles and a house scarf that you could take in and out of. Okay, so let's get started. The very first thing you'll want to do is to create this chick amigurumi. I have the video tutorial already made, so I'm going to link you the video in the description. This pattern is also available for free on my website at amiamore.com. For your house scarf, you're going to grab your red yarn and then you're going to go ahead and make a loop on your hook. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then for our first row, we're going to do 3 SC across in each chain. You can insert your hook, yarn over and come back out, yarn over and come out through both loops. You're going to do a second single crochet stitch and a third single crochet stitch. And you just did your first row. So the scarf is just going to go upward this way and it's going to continue. We have 3 stitches in each row. So we're going to chain 1 and then we're going to turn our work around and then we're going to go ahead and do 2 single crochet stitches here in our first and then our second crochet stitch in our second stitch. And then we're going to still do a single crochet stitch here, but I'm going to show you how to do a color change. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to insert hook, yarn over and come out. But instead of yarning over here, you're actually going to get your new color yarn, which is gold in our case here. And then I actually want you to go ahead and loop this yarn into a loop here onto your crochet stitch. And once you do, you're going to go ahead and pull that through and finish the single crochet off that way. So that's how you make a neat color change here. So then now that we're at the end of this row, we're going to go ahead and chain 1 and then you're going to go ahead and turn your work around this way. And over here, if you find it getting loose, you can pull here. And we're not going to cut off our tails because actually what we're going to do is do tapestry crochet, which means we're going to carry the yarn with us. So go ahead and turn your work around. So now when we look at our work, we have the yarn here and we also have the red yarn, which we not cut off, and you don't want to cut off because we're going to carry it. So it's down here, and what you actually want to do is pull it up, and then you want to kind of lay it on top of this stitch over here because we're going to cover it as we go. So we're going to do our single crochet stitches usually across the top of this row, but we're going to put the yarn on top, so that when we do our single crochet stitch, because usually we enter through here to do our single crochet stitch, but you want to make sure the yarn is over here and you want to go through under that yarn and through both loops there, and then you're going to do your single crochet stitch. So same thing here, you're going to go under and this thing is still at the top, so you're gonna, so it's kind of like you're carrying the yarn as you go. So as you see, the yarn is covered inside within the stitches right here, You're gonna yarn over, or actually when you get to the end, you're gonna chain one. At the end of each row, you always want to chain one and then you want to turn. So same thing here, you're going to grab your yarn, which was on this side, and you want to bring it over and you want to lay it flat on top of your very last row that you've done. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 single crochet stitches now. We're going to do one here. And then in our next row, we're going to do one. And then before we do our last stitch right here, notice that you see a bit of red here that from the yarn that we carry. So what I want to do is actually tug this through so that the red part disappears a little bit and isn't as noticeable. So then in our very last stitch there, we are going to go ahead and finish our single crochet stitch, but I've done my second row, so now I want to switch colors again. And so once I have the 2 loops, I'm going to drop my yellow, I'm going to pick up the red, and then here I can just yarn over and I can pull through, and I've successfully finished my color change again. I know that seems like a lot, but it does get easier as you do. So tapestry crochet is basically you're just carrying the yarn with you as you go, and especially with this scarf, because there's so many color changes, if you just cut off the ends each time you did it, it would be very annoying to just sew in all the yarn. So I feel like this is a much easier and faster way to make this scarf. Okay, so let's practice one more time. We'll do another set. So I consider these 2 colors in one set. So now that we have 2 red, 2 gold, my next pattern here is I want 2 red. So now I'm going to go ahead and chain 1, and I'm going to turn around. Okay, and then here we see where this little red section is. So now we want to carry our gold yarn with us. So the nice thing is once we try to carry it, when we go this way, it actually kind of covers up this red portion here. So we're going to go here. And now I'm going to do 3 stitches across. So here's 1 and 2. And see this yarn is just laying on top of this row, so I'm just kind of burying it as I go through. And our last stitch here. And I always like to, at the end, just give it a little tug so that it kind of pulls through and makes everything straight and makes your stitches a little bit nicer. So now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn around. And then when I do, I want to make sure to bring the other yarn to the front as well. So now I want to carry this yarn once again, so I'm just going to pull it through this way. And then I'm going to do my 2 stitches, 1, 2. Okay, and then after my 2, I'm just going to pull it so that it hides the color there. And then my last, because I'm on my second row of red, and the very last stitch I want to do a color change. So we're going to go ahead and do our yarn over, and then we're going to grab the new yarn color and we're going to pull it through so that we successfully make our color change. So that's how you do tapestry crochet for this scarf. I'll have 24 rectangles at the end. So go ahead and work up your stitches, and I will meet you when you're finished with it. So here's my finished house scarf. If I count all the rectangles, I should have 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And then you want to make sure to leave a long enough tail so later we can sew some things down. So right now I just want to direct you to which side is going to be the front and which one's the back. If you look here, the color changes are pretty good and you can't really see too much, but if you flip it on the other side, you'll see sort of right here the changes in the color, so it's not as neat. But it's okay because later when we sew down the scarf, this is going to be on the inside and the other side is going to be on the outside. So when we sew it down, we'll see only the nice side. So it should be okay. So now the way you want to sew down your scarf is you like to have 2 of the rectangles sticking out here, and then 3 of the rectangles sticking out, and then you'll just want to sew onto this portion so that when you put on your chick, it's gonna go look like this. And then you'll want to hide all your tails as well. Now what we want to do is create our lightning scar at the top, and sometimes I like to I'm going to use a crochet thread in the size 10. So sometimes I'll just cut out little bits so I can just see placement wise. It gives me a good idea of how and where I want to make it. I'm going to go ahead and just place it at the top so I know how I want to do it. So kind of want to make a good lightning shape, and that looks pretty good. And if you look at it, it kind of looks like a slanted end, so you could also think of it that way. And I'm gonna go ahead and just follow . So to make the glasses, I like to use this 20 gauge wires. It's in the color black. So with this, I actually created this small spectacles. So when I made it, I tried to make it large enough to be a good space around the eye, and then the length of this, I tried to make it about this long. So I'm not the greatest at wire work, so this is how it came up. So I just did it this way, and then I did some yarn, or did the wire this way, and then I went this way. But there's actually a much better video tutorial for making a miniature glasses through wires. So I'm going to go ahead and link that in the description, and I think you should use that to do it. You can also experiment and try and see how you like it. I'm gonna sew this portion here. So for photo shoots, sometimes I like to just find little dry twigs, and then I'll give him a little wand. And there, he is ready to do his wizarding. So there you have it. Here's the chick who lived. You can also make one in black and one in different house colors. So you can make a nemesis right here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to see how your chicks come out and how creative you get to be, and you can make even all the other different house colors as well. Please do tag me with your projects on my Facebook and my Instagram. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next video. Happy crocheting!